This is the comma lesson that we tried to do on Friday that kind of did not work. So I'm going to record this lesson and I want you guys to do a practice set and then take a quiz. So first of all, commas. Don't worry about taking notes here. I'll tell you when you need to take notes. For the most part, just kind of pay attention. What do commas do? Commas separate, combine, emphasize, and clarify. Most writers, even skilled ones, have comma questions. However, comma usage can become less confusing if you follow these important guidelines. So this is what I want you guys to write down in your composition notebook. Call this commas, give it a date 10-5. So to separate items in a series, like I bought eggs, milk, and bread at the store. Comma, milk, and bread. Breed, bread at the store. We use commas to separate these. 2, to signal coordinating conjunctions in a sentence span, boys. I'll go over this in depth in a couple more slides. To organize character dialogue. Let's say that Miles said, comma, quote, I bought eggs, milk, and bread at the store. We need a comma and a quote, and a period and an end quote. So it goes comma, then quote, okay? To separate coordinate adjectives, the cruel, callous man. This is an adjective. This is an adjective describing a noun. We have 2 adjectives describing a noun. We need a comma between them. And lastly, to set up an introductory element. For example, knowing he would be late, he ran to school as fast as he could. So these are a few. There are a couple more like interjections, and we'll cover those maybe in the next comma lesson, but these are the only things that you need to write down. So if you need to pause right here and write all these down, go ahead and do so. So here are some guidelines. Use commas only when there's a grammatical reason to use them. Do not overuse commas. Inserting a comma where one doesn't belong is just as wrong as omitting one where it does belong. Learn the comma rules, apply them, and then you can break the rules. So once you know the rules, that's when you can break the rules. Do not insert commas where there are pauses in oral reading or where it sounds right. I polled my classes and numerous students said that they were taught this in elementary school to put a comma wherever there was a pause sort of when they were reading it. So do not do that. Okay, here's the complicated coordinating conjunctions. So pay attention and pause whenever you need. When you have 2 or more independent clauses in a coordinating conjunction, you use a comma. For example, we left for the airport early, comma, but we still missed our flight. Every independent clause has a subject and a verb. So here's our formula. We, subject, let me highlight this, and I'll underline verbs. We left for the airport early. This is an independent clause that has a subject and a verb. But is our coordinating conjunction. I'll highlight this green. We, looks like we have another independent clause, and that's why we're using this comma here. We, subject, still missed our flight. So we have an independent clause, comma, coordinating conjunction, and another independent clause. Here's where we don't use a comma, but we still have a coordinating conjunction. So this is a coordinating conjunction. However, here's our subject, we, and our verb left. We left. So this is an independent clause. We left for the airport early. But coordinated conjunction, still missed. Missed is our verb. We still have the same subject as this other clause. So we do not have two independent clauses. These are two compound verbs. So we do not use a comma here. And this is something that you guys are going to need to work on and learn. This is about effective coordination. So you only want to use commas when whatever you're talking about between your commas is related. So I'm a college freshman. My girlfriend is from Indiana. These aren't really related. I would put a period here and not a comma. This is more effective. I'm a college freshman, comma, and I want to major in elementary education. These two have something to do with each other. So use a comma there. That's effective coordination. Here's where you're going to go ahead and practice. I made a separate video going over the answers to these. Go ahead and download this comma practice set. Go through each of them and put commas where there are commas. One sentence is correct. Try and figure out which sentence that is, and then watch the video for the correct answers.